disarmament. If a governor approves disarmament and is seen with any arm, it will be charged for criminal, for unlawful possession of arms. But if Mr. President approves that, yes, arms should be mobbed, then a garrison should be open to keep those arms. No governor can authorize the opening of the armory. It's only Mr. President that has the power to say a particular armory should be left open for the purpose of storing the recovered arms. No governor has such powers. So, as I talk about Niger Delta alone, oil is basically federal government matters. Federal government handles oil and gas. And thirdly, Gulf of Guinea is also a federal government matter. It's not a matter of the state. Because you talk about traffic criminality, piracy is a major crime internationally. And if your country is identified to be a terrorist state or a state involved in piracy, then they are going to avoid your country, particularly the maritime sector. So it's purely the responsibility of government to put together an institution, an instrument that will be able to protect and guide this state. Government has a motion. There must be a reason for putting this. And the most put people who are into this, who knows how to manage this. You see, you can have a lot of things with you, food, everything. If you don't know how to manage, they won't go around it. So government have a responsibility of managing the situation. And that is why an institution like Amnesty is to be set up. If Amnesty is not there today, we would have got a worse situation in this country, in the Niger Delta region. But like I've said, the leadership is not doing enough because they are not interested in really promoting peace and stability. You don't pay somebody money without orientation, without regular discussions, without regular lecture or teaching, with the view of getting a different mindset. Now you are paying only militants and you have moved from the place. What about those who are not in the amnesty program?
So would you say that the amnesty program, in some sense, is creating another problem, which would be encouraging young people to begin to identify as ex-agitators so they can have access to the funds that come from there? And those who are ex-agitators, is it creating the problem of making them, for lack of a better word, not actively engaging their minds and trying to seek positive ways to get out of their situation? I've seen some of them will return and they got certificates, they were trained, and they are just seated at home. And when you ask, they will tell you the government did not give us a job. And I said, the government did not give me a job. I thought of what to do to get myself engaged. So the program in itself, is it not creating another problem?
The program is not creating another problem, but the managers of the program are the ones creating this problem. And the way the program is structured does not carry along the youths of the Niger Delta. The program is not too late for the program to be restructured in such a manner that every Niger Delta son or daughter will have an opportunity to be trained, to be demobilized, to be integrated into society. This is how church organizations are managed. We must know why we are doing it. Like I said, the focus of Amnesty is to ensure that there's peace in the Niger Delta. 2, we secure our oil and gas. And 3, we secure the Gulf of Guinea. And if that is the case, how do we do it? We have to
let's take a commercial.
That we have,
Mr. Anabs.
Big boo rice. Big boo rice, yeah, in the pot. 7 it up, I stay hot. Stone free premium, boiled rice. Big boo in the pot. So nutritious and tasty, serve it up with style. A cooking delight for that great party, jollof rice. Big boo rice, yeah.
Big boo long grain for boy.
Morning Crossfire conversation continues with my guest, the National Coordinator of South-South Leadership Forum, Anabs, Sara-Igbe. And on Facebook, we're asking you whether you think the Amnesty program has outlived its purpose. Should it be scrapped? Let us get your response on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, on X at Nigeria Info PH. We'll also be opening the phone lines in a matter of moments. But meanwhile, if you have questions and responses, reactions you want to give, you can use the WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. Thank you very much, Mr. Anabs, for staying on the line for us.
Thank you.
Okay, so to continue on the line of thought, you were trying to tell us what the problem is. I was asking whether the program itself is creating a new problem, and you were saying it is not the program, but you think the people who are managing the program are the ones who are creating the new problem. So if you can continue on that line of thought, let's just conclude with that.
Well, like I said, you can have a very good material, but if you don't have a good tailor, they might spoil their clothes for you. The program is supposed to do a lot of things in terms of security for Nigeria. It is also supposed to be an information gathering process, which is a key element of security. But the managers are not into the intelligent part of the program. Most of them are interested in what they can make out of it, and it's not supposed to be so. This is a program, if it's well managed, it will create wealth, and it will also create security. These are the key reasons why the program was set up. But if it's not well managed, fine, you will get a lot of issues. Today, yes, I agree that Amnesty has rolled out a lot of graduates in different fields. We have a lot of graduates. But these graduates, how do you reintegrate them? How do you put them into the society for them to be useful? You cannot be PhD, and if you are useful to the society, your PhD is nothing. You can have first degree or even a diploma, and if it's useful to the society, you are a hero. So the program managers should have a mindset, or should be inducted into a mindset as to what the government needs from them. As it were, today, those who are in the program don't even know why the program is set up. And because they were not involved with the struggle, they mismanaged the entire program. But if those who were involved from the beginning are the ones managing the program, they'll be able to know why they should manage the program in such a manner that it will bring in peace in the region, it will address the Gulf of Guinea, and at the same time create wealth for the people of Niger Delta. So government should look out for people who are experienced, who are willing to do innovation, who can turn around the program for better. Because government stands to gain more. I bet you if you scrap Amnesty, the kind of problem that will come up in the region, government would stand to.
So are you in other words saying that how long would we continue to pay this? Now, you were trying to say something around the corridors of the program supposing to cater for the youths in the Niger Delta. But if you look at the program in itself, and the proclamation that relied heavily on the powers that was vested in the office of the president and some of the things that were said enshrined in section 175 of the 1999 constitution. This was what was said, and I'll just read about 4 of those, all right? The order. I hereby grant amnesty and unconditional pardon to all persons who have directly or indirectly participated in the commission of offenses associated with militant activities in the Niger Delta. Now, that is one area I want us to focus, because then it looks as though the program was created to appease or cater for those people who were directly saying, at the time referred to as militants, because of them being unhappy with how the resources from the Niger Delta was being used, and then the underdevelopment of the region. And at the time in 2009, the idea was, okay, what can we do to calm these people down? And then the Amnesty program came. It did not come to say it would cater for the youths of the region. So which means that some of these people who were involved in that or who were militants at the time are the ones that are still getting paid from the program, if we are going to go by what was stated here. The pardon, this is number 2, shall take effect on the surrender and handing over of all equipment, weapons, arms, and ammunition, and execution of the renunciation of militancy forms specified in the schedule hereto by the affected persons at the nearest collection centers established for the purpose of government in each of the Niger Delta states. The unconditional pardon granted pursuant to this proclamation shall extend to all persons presently being prosecuted for offenses associated with militant activities. This proclamation shall cease to have effect from Sunday, October 4, 2009. Now, would have to reestablish contact with my guest. I think we just got interrupted there by the service provider. But what I'm saying is, in everything that was stated here, it did not say the youths of the Niger Delta to benefit from this, and hence my question of whether the amnesty program is creating another problem, which now becomes people even identifying as ex-agitators just so that they can benefit from the monies that are being paid to those who really were militants at the time that led to the establishment of this particular program. I'll open the phone lines and let's get some of your thoughts on this while we'll try to reestablish contact with my guest to respond to that thought. Because if what is written there is what it is, it means the amnesty program is for certain people, not for the youths of the Niger Delta. Then the question becomes, how long are we going to continue paying this set of people just because we think it's the best way to keep peace in the Niger Delta? When, like I asked my guest, some of the problems that are being stated are problems of development, which falls within the periphery of governors, state level, at the local government level, and the federal level. Even though we've also had the arguments that the monies that come is not enough, the monies that have come over the years have run into hundreds of billions from derivation funds only. Let's start from there. How much of that has translated to reality, a tangible development on the ground in those communities where these resources are tapped from? Welcome back, Mr. Anabs, Sara-Igbe. So quickly, you heard me read out some of the documents, parts of the document there, and it did not specify youths of the region. It spoke basically to people who at the time were referred to as militants. So that means these are the people that were still paying or should be paying till now. So how long is that going to continue? Because people who were not militants would say, what is in it for us? Because we did not carry gun or we did not fight or shout, does that mean we're not going to benefit from this? That is where we now lie. So how do you differentiate this?
We will look at the circumstances that led to the proclamation. At the time of the proclamation of the amnesty for the Niger Delta, oil production went down below 700 from 2.4. And the government initially started with arms, started with the military option. The military option failed. And so, after several meetings, they had to backpedal and came up with the amnesty program with the view of arresting the drift. Now, after the proclamation of the amnesty, oil production went up. Threat, kidnapping also went down. Now, we want to go back to the state now. The current situation in Nigeria now, if you remove amnesty and with the hardship going on in the country, you will see that there will be more violence, there will be more kidnapping, there will be several crises in the region that you cannot produce oil. How much are you paying to the amnesty program? The maximum you are paying is 87 billion, 85 billion in a year. What is the percentage of oil production is that? If you want to produce something and something is an impediment to your production and you reduce it by 1% and you can get maximum production, I think it's a wiser decision than oh, amnesty is bad, let us take it. The kind of people this program was taking off from the creek. Today you have safety of foreigners in the river, in the creek, because of amnesty program. Today you can have relative peace in the region because of amnesty program. If you take off amnesty program, you record it, tomorrow you call me back. The crime rate in the Niger Delta will double. And the crime rate in the Gulf of Guinea will also double. And this stability we are talking about, we cannot get it. Today, I'm telling you.
So doesn't that... Okay, let's...
In a manner that it will be more productive to the people of Niger Delta and to government. This is a covenant between the federal government and Niger Delta.
Okay.
Between the both parties, everything will be let loose.
All right, let's take a few questions and responses from the listener. I still have a few more to ask you, but let's go to the WhatsApp portal and take phone calls as well. So I'm sure the listener would have quite a lot of contributions and questions to ask and contributions to make. 0817-923-0007. Now, on WhatsApp, this person says, does it mean that if I'm not a militant, I'm not eligible to participate in the amnesty program or benefit from the amnesty program? That's one question. Again, just for those who might not have the phone numbers, let me call it slower. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0003. This person says, amnesty program is good for the peace of the Niger Delta and more revenue to the federal government. Good leadership of the program is the way forward and not to scrap it. Bomber sent that one in. Let's start with Robin in Echie. Robin, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Go ahead.
And good morning to the revered elders, this man of England. What the elders have said, I'm in line with him. Is one, whenever he speaks, either on TV or radio, I any other thing I'm doing to listen to him. I'm not speaking or raining encomium on him, but he's been standing tall in moving this part of the region to a enviable status that every Niger Delta should be able to enjoy the benefit of God-given gift. Having said so, there's an area he touched which I wanted to talk, but let me highlight it. If the amnesty is stopped, I agree with him that there will be more crisis. The crimes here will rise in geometric progression. Having said so, those of us that were not part of that armed struggle, our brothers, our sisters have done so, and the federal government then have given fees to beg them. They have collected enough. No amount of money is enough for a man. Is it not proper for them to discuss with the system? Let every son and daughter of Niger Delta get a stipend at the end of every month. Because watching people collecting 65 to 70,000, and those who have gone to school, like as he said, a PhD holder without contributing to the growth of the society is as useless as anything in degree. That is my position.
All right,
let
Robin.
him be in the position to canvass and push the narrative. Let the benefit of the amnesty saturate within the Niger Delta.
Okay, let's go to Ada George. Chima is on the line. Chima, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Andrew.
Welcome.
Yes, Andrew, your guest talked about if amnesty stops, there is going to be a high rate of crime. Quite agreed. But I think it is based on the impression that was given by the managers of this amnesty from initial. You understand? Now, amnesty was a program designed to be able to empower some agitators. Then, after you empower them, they are settled, and that is the end of it. It's not something that you continue to pay a certain individual for lifetime. No, that was not what the program was designed. You understand? So if the managers of the Amnesty was properly initiated right from Yaradua to Jonathan. You shouldn't have been what we are talking about today. You understand? There will be not that impression of if they stop paying them, they are going to crime increase. No, because by then they would have empowered with different skills and settled for them to continue on their life, not to continue to pay them. That is what Amnesty was designed. Not to pay people every time you pay people at the end of the month. Then those who are not into crime, what are their benefits?
All right, Chima. Let's go to Temple now in Rumomasi. Temple, good morning.
Good morning, distinguished Andrew. Salute you once again.
Go ahead.
I think, in as much as I'm concerned, I am from an oil producing community, a community rich in oil and gas. And when you look about this issue of militants, when they came on board, they were all freedom fighters fighting for the interest of their communities. The most distinguished people, I can tell you for free, go to those communities and see the livelihood of the indigent of those communities they say they were fighting for. At the end of the day, they were fighting for their own selfish interest. If you look at this program, it was all orchestrated in celebrating those of them who are involved in, in carrying arms. It was captioned in celebrating them. If we must continue in this program, which I think it has been long overdue, for me, I want to appeal. They should also create another program to accommodate those of us that are not into crime and that are all in these oil-producing communities for equity and justice. That is my summation this morning. Thank you.
Letan Barry is calling from Bori. Good morning, Letan Barry.
Good morning, Andrew, and good morning to our elder statesman. Yes. First, I must respectfully commend our elder statesman for his courage that he has always put in to ensure he agitates for the well-being of the Niger Delta people. Firstly, I must say that it will not be nice for the federal government to scrap this program, because this program has also assisted a lot of ex-militants and has also saved the region from pipeline vandalism. It is a pity that the problem we are having is from the management of those funds, those who are paying the people who has been set aside to be paid monthly. That is where the problem is coming from. I don't think this problem is coming from the federal government, because money has been paid, but the process by which the people use it, paying that money, is where the problem is coming from. And secondly, the people who have been paid in the ex-agitators, most of them are not doing us good. Their character has not changed. I think it is one of the things the elder statement here is going to help us to do, because the people have not been doing well. Because if you see most of the crime going on, these people also contributed, and it does not pave way. It does not show that, yes, they are receiving something from the other end. But lastly, let me say that even if I have something to tell him outside this phone, outside this studio, which I know I don't have his number, the thing he will help us to do is that all those who are managing these funds to pay these youth, to pay these agitators, to be themselves. If not, they will stir up more crisis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A few more messages now. We'll just take some messages on Facebook. Stanley says, good morning. Okay, it's just telling me as well. Kingsley Omachi, good morning. I think that the federal government should help and sustain the program, because that program has helped a lot of the militants to give them platform to be reintegrated into society. The Hector Cree says the purpose why Amnesty was established is not for development of the Niger Delta. The purpose for the establishment of the program is to sustain peace in the region in order for Nigeria state to continue its exploitation. On WhatsApp, some others here say, good morning, Andrew. Good morning. This is Blessed from Alu. Anything former Niger Delta agitators, militants in the opposition region should stop because it will encourage others to carry arms to partake in criminality as well. Job sent that one in. We have about 4 minutes. Let me get back to my guest. Hi, Chief Anabs. We need just to, in less than 3 minutes, if you can. You've heard most of the callers, but this is what I want to say. Because you repeatedly had said, if we stop the program, just like many callers have also said, crime is going to go up. Now, I'm trying to look at this psychologically, what message this is sending to those people who, one of the callers said, don't seem to want to change their way of life, still want to continue on this line, and seem as though they are technically holding the government hostage, saying, if you stop paying us, then we'll go back to doing this. Instead of being patriotic enough to know that we shouldn't do this, and the best way to develop our region would be to have laws that would give our government the hands or enough space to do what they need to do, and to hold our governors and leaders at various levels accountable to ensure that the little that is even coming to us are put on the ground to develop our areas and the people benefit from it. Should that not be the best approach?
Thank you very much. And let me also thank all those who have contributed. The fact remains that if federal government want to get this three key object, the peace in Gulf of Guinea, peace in the Niger Delta, maximum oil production, and intel, then they have to sustain it, the amnesty, but modify it as a process of mopping up arms from the region, as a process of engaging the youth of the region, as a process of enriching the region, as a replacement for the devastation we are going through. If you look at this man of Gaddafi ensured that everybody in this country benefited from the oil production. There is hospital for everybody, education for everybody. Even when you get married, Gaddafi provided all this for his people. So if in Niger Delta, where this problem is, government spends money to buy peace, I don't think it is too much. But they must put leadership that knows the pains of the region and see how they can direct it to productivity instead of security. If they can rechannel the activities of Niger Delta to prosperity and more knowledge and creativity, more jobs, I think the people of Niger Delta will appreciate it more than what they are doing now.
All right.
Finally, I would say the leadership of the Amnesty should be those who understand the dynamics of the Niger Delta, those who knows what is happening in the Niger Delta, what are the problems of the Niger Delta, how can we arrest it. If you bring experienced hands, not just a general is just an army officer who knows how to fight war. We are not fighting war now, we are talking about intellectual war, how to change the narratives in the Niger Delta, then come to the Niger Delta and recruit people who are into this activism, and they will do better for.
All right, thank you very much, His Highness Anabs Sara-Igbe, National Coordinator, South Leadership Forum. Thank you for your time, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Hello Port Harcourt comes up after the news at 9, and that will be immediately after this commercial. Thank you, and do stay tuned.
The show continues after this break. On Nigeria.